Dear colleagues, dear participant conference, would like to welcome you. I'm Yulia Astrakhan, head of the infosecurity of Softline. Today we'll be speaking about awareness in the field of information security. I am the head of the business line of awareness of the infosecurity, and this is why we are having this session today. Let's move on to business. And hopefully you can see my presentation and you can hear me well and everything is great and we do not have any technical glitches. Well, this is why we need increased or raised awareness. Raised awareness helps people to live longer, happily and safely. And this is why many people think that ensuring information security, this is the issue of technical, domain. And you can deal with it only with a DLP or a CM system with the SOCs and so forth. But is in real life, at least now, and probably in the next 100 or maybe 200 years, there will always be a human standing behind the technical system. This human factor cannot be taken out of the equation. People may have bad moods, they may have a fight with their loved ones at home, and have some other, mental factors. And people are prone to error. People can make a mistake or simply they do not know of any rules that have to be observed. So eventually you may have an incident and a company may lose valuable information or sustain some financial losses, or the delta blow with their financial image. Sometimes it's much more than any information or monetary losses. And today I want to share you of how you can avoid such potential losses, what has to be done to make sure that we organize increased awareness in your company. To begin with, I would like to give you some stats. Right on this slide, we can have the data by Positive Technologies for 2019, for the first quarter of 2019. And the numbers, I will not be reading them again. You can obviously see them on the slide. 60% of the attacks aimed at the specific company, 77% of the incidents are happening due to the employees' faults, and 53% of intrusion happening through the social engineering. So you have to teach your employees with rules of safety, information safety, and since your employee would be a core of any company or organization, like your regular employees or pushing the buttons, they are part of your info security system. You have to really train them. And we also have to make sure that it is your company that could potentially be a target of the hackers, of the social engineers, of all kind of bad guys who possibly would like to take your money or your information. Business community thinks that the targeted attack would be a seldom thing. This is not the case, because today most of those bad guys and bad actors, they're actually trying to study who they're going to attack, and they're carrying out an attack being very, very prepared to this kind of attack. And much is being said about the social engineering. Everybody knows what it is, and I would like to very quickly remind you that this would be attack exploiting human vulnerabilities, being afraid of the sanctions, get rich quick schemes, and attempts to make your life easier. This is what the social engineers are exploiting, and lately they've become ever more active than before. Here on this slide, I have some questions that we need to ask ourselves to understand that this awareness, we need right away and no delays. We should not put it off, and we need to run and do something with this awareness. Well, many people can witness some incidents happening in Russia and elsewhere, and this would be the initiative to get awareness. You can read about all these incidents. I'm reading them as well. You can see a lot of that on the news and the media, and the outcomes are not so comfortable. Or maybe it's comfortable too from the other hand. First of all, there is a practice of publicizing those incidents. In Russia, you cannot hear and read so much about different incidents, but hopefully things will change. And because we know about these incidents, we can give them as example and tell people, please train your employees and make sure that this would not be the case in your company. For example, I was very much struck by one incident, a recent one. It has happened in the U.S. Sons Institute. It's an organization in the U.S., and this is the company which is training professionals in cybersecurity field. And actually, this very specialized company, which is training their employees, ended up in a very tough situation because one of the employee opened a phishing email, and with this phishing email, he pushed a link, and the bad actors got access to his account. They broke his account, and on his behalf, they were corresponding with a huge number of people. I mean, professional ladies and gentlemen who were supposed to attend a major cybersecurity conference. They basically stole a huge database from the personal identifiable information. And you name it, there was so many information in this database, and the company was trying to make it right, but this precedent has already happened. We have to come to the conclusion that even such a special company can be a target, and not even to mention about all of us. Another incident, which was a high-profile case on the internet, the mayor's office of the Saskatoon, Canadian town. Well, this company ended up in a very tight spot. They also got a phishing email. Again, we can see the social engineering methodology in action. One of the employees opened this email, and in this email, there was a following request. They had asked them to wire $1.2 million for the renovation of a bridge, which was supposed to happen in the same city. And since they had an agreement, they did not have any suspicions. They wired the money. And the company learned that this was a phishing letter. The mayor's office learned when it was too late to fix or to mend this situation. So this emergency of teaching and doing this training. And in other case, these are the incidents which are happening regularly, despite any technical means and technical defense protections, and even the company may have the security operation centers and DLP. I'm asking pardon of my colleagues, but any hardware means will not give us a 100% protection. And since we are speaking about raising awareness and training and teaching of our staffers, sometimes it is very difficult to do because they are few or there are too many. If they are too many, it makes things even worse because you have to assemble them somehow. You have to provide them this security training by batches or all at once. So it's all about these kind of logistical operations. So now in the InfoSec industry, we have the remote learning or e-learning approach, and our company is also making this a priority. Why? Because e-learning has a lot of advantages to it. You can see these advantages on the slide, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Like I was saying before, it does not matter how many employees you have in your company. E-learning would be fit for any number of employees, whether it's a small office or a mid-level or a huge corporation. It does not really matter. And you can do it. It is not like a training center. You do not have to dispatch people, or you don't have to host the trainers. Your employees can study these materials whenever, wherever, at any gadgets of their choice, computers, smartphones, tablets, you name it. You can do it at your convenience. Another important thing, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, which unfortunately is still going on, many companies partially or fully switching to remote operations, and e-learning would be very, very relevant to them because you're staying at home, as well as your employees that are staying at home, and this training is happening the way it's supposed to be. And yet another aspect for you and I, that these e-learning materials are paid once. It is not a license. You don't have to pay and ongoing, unlike the conventional distance learning. And actually, I'm going to give you a little bit more details about the distant fishing situation. So you're paying only once, and then you're using these training materials unlimited amount of times within your company. And I also want to mention about the trends of the remote education. I would say that these are not only e-learning trends, but basically about the whole content, which lately we can be fed from all kinds of sources. And first of all, it's a micro learning. I mean, the information is fed not by big portions. It's not like huge courses, but it comes in stages. It is especially important when we talk about very specific terminology in terms like the information security. Despite that, our company is attempting to deliver to the employees those rules which would be important to any specialties, to any specialization without any like deep, narrow knowledge. Like for me, a regular person, like I may not need this kind of too deep knowledge for the safe operations of my company. Next, in these materials, we use a very simple language. It's a conversational language. We all remember these policies of information safety when we're at whenever we get our job interviews, and like you do not want to read it ever again in your life, because like without any photos, without any pictures, it's just a plain text but very specialized, hard to read, hard to grasp. So we are about very simple, plain conversational language, and this is how we tell our employees that we do respect them, and we want to carry this information in such a way that they will be able to grasp it instead of just giving it to them and they can do with it whatever they want. There is also another very positive trend in electronic learning as gamification. That is, we are using some gaming or gamified approaches to involve our users in education and to make this learning situation much more bearable, not as boring without this kind of gamified elements. What kind of gamification elements exist? You can add some characters, and the most popular, or several characters, and then the situation becomes much more interesting. Or this could be some storyline. If you have several formats and several materials, and they kind of integrated, this storyline could be one common for different courses or streams or different. It's all depends. It's all limited by your fantasy or by the fantasy of whoever is preparing these materials for you. Another interesting gamification aspect is using achievement system. It can be used locally, for example, in e-courses. If an employee is doing very great, then he or she is given a star, a medal, or something like that. Of course, it's an electronic one. It's not a real thing. But still, it's nice when you are being acknowledged. Well, on more like a global scale, there is a rating system, like in many online education systems or LMS. This kind of rating system, which would be common for all employees, you can set it up. And of course, it's also warms up people whenever they see that somebody like they are on the top and everybody else somewhere on the bottom. Now let's talk of how you build this awareness and what should be a company's approach to build awareness more efficiently, and not just to tick off a box. I'm sorry. Well, talking about our company, in our case, we have two business lines which we're pursuing. The first one would be developing educational materials. And here we take into account and we study your internal rules and regulations, your information security policies in your company, and risks which your company may be susceptible to. We study a product and any of other your request. I mean, we're trying to customize as much as it possible these learning materials for your company or for the client. The second business line would be preparing the pre-written materials. Why am I saying preparing? Because we also have some minimal customization, and I'll share about this a little bit later. But anyway, these kind of ready to go materials, they can be used. They, of course, will not be fully adaptable to some of the aspects of your company. They're pretty much standardized. Well, speaking about the information delivery, we're sitting with you, we're talking to your HR and to your information security functions, and we analyze the situation. We study your regulations and processes which your company may be adopting, as well as technical capabilities, because to be able to do this online learning in a right way, you need some technical standards. For some formats, it is easier, but for the electronic courses, you need distance online education system. And after we thought about this situation and we realized what could be the bottleneck or a problem, we then understand how we can possibly solve this problem. That is, we're building your educational curriculum. Here we need to understand of what is our target audience or target groups of people, because people are different. This is obvious. And of course, you have some rules which have to be observed by all the employees, while there are some more like specialized rules which also have to be communicated to your staff. And each team, each group is learning with their own format. Since all of them have their own professional specialization, we should not be providing just the same cookie cutter material to everyone. This will not be efficient. And in our program, not only we select formats for each group, but we also specify those skills which employees have to obtain, and it is assumed that they will get the skills, and as well as we provide recommendations and we specify the frequency of this learning session, the cycles of this training, because if you give people like a link to some kind of electronic or web course, you go ahead, you do all the exercises and tick off all the boxes. And we should not hope that they will do it all on their own and will never do any mistakes. This would be a wrong approach. This training should be cyclical. All these materials should be repeatedly provided with some updates in them. In this case, we will be able to give our employees right training. And after we've done all of that, we have analyzed all this situation, we've built our academic curriculum, and after that, you need to take a rest, and we have to prepare another training materials. And here we select main training formats, which will become the core information, then some additional formats to attract the employees' attention to the information security. And finally, we need to do some tests. This kind of testing formats could be different. For example, in electronic courses, these could be tests, exercises, and or some cases, or simulation of certain cases, for example, incident simulation, or these could be some kind of expanded business simulation, sort of process simulation, which may be happening in your company and your employees, depending on their roles, which they are carrying out in your company. They have to go along this process to be fully confident, to be safe and sound. And I was speaking at length of how you build awareness, and the main idea here is that, of course, it is better to develop all this in advance, because this kind of developments is about much bigger customization and diving deeper into realities of your company. But also, pre-written courses should also come very handy, because they will be great when you do a quick training session, or when your budget is limited, because of course developing customized courses will be somewhat more expensive. I was speaking about education formats. And e-learning formats could be different. Some of them have proven to be the main formats or formats which are clear and clean for all the employees. And as a part of this slide, I would like to share with you of how we should pre-select formats, which should be the logic of selecting either formats for your corporate training. Let's say we have three target audiences that we have to raise awareness of and to train them. The first one, top management, front office and back office. In each of these groups, they have their own peculiarities. Let's use this word, and let's begin with the top management and what should be the main threat here. This would be the targeted social engineering attacks. Why? Well, it pretty much makes sense if we talk about the senior management of the company. Like if you target those top managements, you pretty much can kill the company, because top managers are very busy people. They are limited on time, and it's very difficult to draw their attention to anything. So we're not going to overload them with different training formats, and instead we will provide to them electronic business simulation, small volume, which they can do in any point of time, or we can give them a series of business simulation. And we can provide the simulation of a certain situation. We can take an incident, and we are leading those top managers or senior management along the situation. Because like research is saying, it's better to do some hands-on experience, to do it once, to do it with your hands instead of just thousands of theoretical courses or ideas. And right after we have served our top management, we're thinking about front office. Now, what are the threats for front office? Of course, it's a computer's infection. This would be the risk number one. And the problem is that front office doesn't work a lot with the personal computers with a bring your own device. This could be just one station operated by several people. And again, another problem of the front office would be scattered attention, because those employees, they have key accounts and they always work with these key accounts, and a lot of time they cannot afford to spend a lot of time on InfoSec, and they have to be like in front of their clients. And this is why here we give preference to such formats as videos and memo notes. And memo notes is not going to take a lot of time. You can put this in your pocket, and some posters on the walls, which could be just an element of decor of this facility. As for the videos, you can do these videos. You can demonstrate them in any places, in any workrooms. And as for the clients, they will find these videos also very enlightening and educating. I'm talking about very short videos, and mostly, I guess, about the animated type of videos. Why is that? Because again, multiple research is saying that your employees' attention, you cannot focus this attention more than 2-3 minutes with a video. People are not going to look at the screen. They may be looking at the screen, but they're just dozing off and thinking about something else. This is why, speaking about the 7, 8, or 10-minute videos, well, now this is not the time for this kind of videos. They are too long. They have to be shorter. Well, again, let's say that front office is fine with the videos, memos, and posters on the wall. Now let's think about back office. And here the main threat will be the mass social engineering, mass phishing. Not the kind of targeted phishing which is aimed at the top managers of the company, but messages and letters which are not being customized because those machine learning or machine guys are not really make it tough. But anyway, this kind of phishing links which may be leading to unsafe websites and phishing attachments which can launch at your employee's machine a spyware or virus. All of this could be the part of these kind of dangerous scenarios. Well, oftentimes employees simply they do not know how to behave safely. There had been a research, I think it was like 1 year ago here in Russia, and about 70% of the companies are training their employees only in the form of like instructions. What I mean by instructions, you're gathered together, you've been told something, you read the policies, and off you go. It is not a repeated practice. There is no cycles in that. It's basically to tick off the box and forget about this. I'm sure that this is not the case in your company, but nevertheless, the problem persists because employees oftentimes do not know of the rules and they do not know how to defend themselves and the company from such attacks. And here, back office would be a huge workload in terms of different formats, because now we're speaking about electronic courses, e-courses. Many of you have seen e-courses in different formats. What do I mean by the classic electronic course? This would be some kind of interactive entity, which includes a theory, checking your knowledge, like I was saying before, checking your knowledge in the form of tests and in the form of exercises or end cases or simulations of some problematic situations in information security. What is important when we talk about an electronic course, that your employee should be practicing, even if it is not like a practical kind of information. They are doing some manual actions, they're pushing the buttons, they're pushing the arrows, they're looking at some kind of rotating content, there is some kind of animation going on, and we do not make them only to read the text. We want to use this kind of small motorics, which will activate our brain cells and kind of focus us for the training sessions. Those electronic courses are better to be used as a part of the solution. There are some specific topics that you can train your employees. And first of all, the foundations of the information security, the basics, beginning with the policies of the clean table, the password policies, and how to work in information systems safely. How do you work with emails and do it in a secure way? How do you work on the internet? How do you hold negotiations to make sure that information which should be confidential would remain confidential? Then the basics of the social engineering. I mean, what I mean by that, of how to counteract the social engineering. And you can pay some attention also to some mistakes admitted by your employees, and to some myths which are circulating in information security in the business community. Well, this would be the main scope of topics which have to be trained to your employees. And it would be great also to do some mailing lists for the same topics. In our company, we call them security tips in our company. And these security tips are actually dedicated to these kind of topics which I've just mentioned. That is, using those e-courses, we are training these topics and we're checking their knowledge. And then we're using mailing lists to fix this knowledge in our employees' heads. Because again, repetition is the mother of learning. And another important format would be training phishing. Of course, it's checking on the knowledge. So this kind of simulated phishing should be done twice. First, before we do any training, to see and to see if your employees can they resist this kind of phishing emails, or they absolutely are not capable of doing that. And then once in a while you do like refreshers after you launch your education to make sure that this training course is working and people are not just listening some information passively, but they can actually act on this information and counteract those phishing emails. Well, this is how we have identified several targeted audiences, and for each of these target audience we develop a specialized training formats which would be most suitable to these groups. And now we only have to say, great, we've done a good job, but it's too premature to pat ourselves on the back, because now we're going to talk about the technical capabilities which you need to have for this kind of awareness training. When we talk about mailings, the stickers on the wall, posters, and other printed materials, it is not that complicated. You can relax because all these mailing lists are done with the corporate emails. And all these memo notes and stickers can be just placed in wherever you want them to be placed. And as for the videos, here you need some corporate web portal where you can upload these videos, also with the browser games. And talking about the browser games, I did not mention about that, about different formats. Why? Because they're not part of the main core of your training. They could be just a nice addition to your curriculum. Speaking about the browsing games, you may have some educational content in them, more or less. For example, in our games, this educational element is playing quite a big role, but whatever the case, these kind of games could be maximum 5 minutes long, because we're talking about a mini format. Now, why games? In addition to this training component in them, the games, they're attracting attention of your employees to the topic of the information security. Because now we still have a stereotype that InfoSec is very boring. It doesn't matter what kind of nice things you put around it. Still, information security seems to be like a very, very boring thing to get involved to. And the browser games, they enable you to overcome this type of stereotype. And the main challenge with our technical capabilities is about electronic courses, because these courses, they have to be uploaded into your online learning system. Maybe you've heard the term web tutoring. This could be the most well-known online system. Moodle, Edison, Miropolis, Yakuel, iSpring could be another names of the systems. There are quite many of them available today. What is their value? Because they are counting your statistics. Let's say you take a course, you upload it into the online learning system, and after your staff are learning, the system gives you like a feedback or statistics. They give you the data about the tests, about the exercises, or if you have your settings, you can have the secondary education. You can, of course, do it in the browser. I mean, your employees can do these courses, but in this case, there'll be no statistics collecting. So you have to choose either or. And if you want some feedback, if you want some statistical data, you need to upload this into the online system. Now, all the online educational systems, this could be the license-based courses. I mean, it is not like a one-off payment, but you have to pay for the license every year. I have already mentioned about the two business lines in our company. We are developing customized courses and the out-of-the-box courses. And I want to give you some examples of our projects for you to see that gamification is actually is actually very popular in our business community. We've done a project for the Eldorado and NVIDIA group of companies, and we've used some formats. The main format would be electronic courses. We've done them not only for the main target audience, I mean for all of the employees, but we've had some specialized training for those employees involved in retail operations. Now, a couple of words about these projects, and we've had some e-courses themselves, like you can see the screenshots of those e-courses. We've had several of them. We've also had some final testing, gamified testing, after people complete all these courses, just to make sure that they really got this knowledge. And we had some memos about information security made in the same style, as well as the number of mailings which will have to be done. Why this project is special? Because we really got the kicks out of it and we enjoyed ourselves doing these gamified elements. We have developed those characters. You can see one of them on the screen. We've called him MV 2020. It's a robot built by the hackers to steal valuable information. Would spy, would look over your shoulder, but the information security professionals reprogrammed it, and now he's doing something for the good, serving the good. He's a good guy, not a bad guy anymore. We use the Terminator franchise. We'll love at least the first issues of this franchise, as well as our customer. And we've used this Terminator, so to speak, in our memos, in our mailing lists, and we had some references, some Easter eggs, and some quotations about the Terminator movies. And we've also introduced the second character. This could be like an evil Terminator, the liquid guy. You remember T-1000, and we really enjoyed ourselves. Our customers really liked this robot, and eventually it became the mascot of the information security department of the company, and they had been using it in any other training materials and even in their ad campaigns. Now on the slide you can see it driving a bike and catching up this bad actor guy. And now, again, one example, a couple of screenshots from our mailing lists. You can see that those emails could be not only made in the text from A to Z, but they also could include some illustrations, some photos, some pictures, and some icons, maybe some templates. We should not get our employees killed of boredom while studying their information security. We can keep them alive with some infotainment. You can see this like a memo note, and we've used here some visual aspects of the Terminator. You remember in the Terminator movie, this guy was able to scan the surroundings and get kind of dashboard of the object. So we've used this element. When we talk about our out-of-the-box solutions, you can see the screenshots from our e-courses. If it's out of the box, it does mean that it's made hastily, and like we didn't assemble this in 5 seconds and want to teach it. No, we have done it very, very conscientiously. We've done a high-quality job, and you can see these are very nice-looking guys, and we've also paid some attention to these illustrations, and now we have a number of courses which are out-of-the-box IB courses, information security courses, including the foundations of the phishing protection and the topics like the sharing your documents with your counterparties, building right passwords, and on a special note, we talk about the mobile device security because now everybody's using them. So all main aspects are here, highlighted here in these materials. And also, in addition to electronic courses, we have the browser games. We have several such games, and basically they do the job. They're attracting people's attention to the topic of information security, and they're highlighting this topic with light colors, so to say. We have one game, Secure City, and people can build their own company, defending it from all kinds of threats. Initially, they build some kind of houses, and then these houses are being improved upon. They're choosing the right ways to answer a question. It's a multiple answers question. If the guy is showing that he is great, or if he or she is great, they can get the bonus on different level. And I'm not going to open and reveal all these secrets. And if you like what I'm showing, you want to go there, so we can, we'll be happy to give us the demo versions of our e-courses and demos of our browsing games. You can check it out, you can click through it, and you can see how it really, really works. Another game, the Password Instinct. Let's say we have a bad actor, a guy or a gal who is trying to penetrate the system. We have to find the reliable passwords, and as a result of this, this hacker will be losing their some elements of their weaponry or some IT elements. And the most expensive things, or most important things, we cannot take away, but we can actually build some safety net around us and make it safer for ourselves. Now, mailing materials. Mailing lists or mailing materials as security tips. So we have some templates, ready templates. You can see these templates on the screen. If we do the customized materials, this template could be different. It all depends on what you're really looking for. On a separate note, I will say that all the out-of-the-box solutions also involve free customization. Of course, it is not the full from-scratch development, and it's a limited customization, but still we are adding some materials, and we add the names and logo of your company. We add your IT services, your information security departments, like the main names of the main departments, and we add all the contacts for your employees to know where to go should they need professional help. And that's my favorite topic, working with objections. Now, what could be the objections from the clients, and from what could be the objections from the clients to the training materials development? Like, okay, we do not have our own online training platform. Yes, you may not have your own platform, but more often than not, if it's a mid-level or a big business, they know the web tutor, and they may have seen that if they do not have any system whatsoever, and we speak about the electronic courses, you can watch them in the browser. Like I said before, again, without any statistics, better than nothing. If you do not have any systems and you do not have any budgets for building a system. If you have a budget, we're offering our partners a platform, Phishing Awareness Center. It's the name of the platform. On top of our courses, inside of this platform, we provide the module of the phishing email, and you can get this kind of additional bonus. And once again, I want to say that these training materials would not be a license. You buy them only once. But if we talk about the problem, about the platform, I'm sorry, this is like a subscription service. Now let's continue about the payment levels. Another objection is we have a limited budget in our company. Yes, we understand. What can I say to this objection? First of all, we have the out-of-the-box materials. They are not expensive, and if you will find them interesting along the lines of what I'm speaking about today, you can make a contact with us, and we'll give you a presentation. In addition to a demo version of the browsing games and electronic courses, we will provide all the quotes for all the out-of-the-box ready solutions, and you can make up your mind of whether you want to use it. And if you want customized development, the cost could be absolutely different. If you do not need something fancy in your courses, if you do not need a lot of animation, a lot of videos, and a lot of like a superstar dancing in this course, this will be quite unaffordable. First of all, it will be a good thing because you have a great taste, and secondly, it will be much more affordable than if you do a huge gamified and animated elements in your training course. Another objection about the boring of the information security as the industry. Like the potential clients can say, our employees are not looking forward to studying information security. Yes, but you need this awareness even by the legislation. There are a lot of legislative acts and federal laws. The legislation about the personal data protection, now the personal data is processed by absolutely all the companies. And this federal law actually prescribes that each and every company should know the rules of how to work with this personal data. We have so-called GHOST, which is a state standards, and other standards. We have some banks requirements of the Central Bank of Russia, requirements if we're talking about the banking industry. And all these materials, they are available. We can provide you all the materials should you need it. And now I'm not going to dwell on that. But I know this topic is, yes, awareness is either recommended, but still it's a part of many, many legislative acts of the Russian Federation. And again, we use this kind of infotainment format, meaning, like I was saying before, it's about gamification. And this gamification not only it declutter your brain, so to say, but also it enables you to soak in the content. It creates certain triggers, certain paths, like a neural paths for you to remember this content. And next question about independence, because many companies believe that this information security awareness and any training should be done in-house. It's great. We do not have any doubts that you can do it on your own. You can do it as an in-house effort, but it would be much better than somebody's doing it for you with a high quality, with a great speed, and professional assistance will give you just a high quality of materials. You will not need to spend your time nor energy to this effort, which could be outsourced and can be done by the specially trained people. And another challenge is about staff. It's about the staff which are hard to attract into the InfoSec industry. The company may not have their own designers and copywriters, but should you have them, sometimes it's very difficult. They're very difficult to involve into this topic because they have their own responsibilities and they work for the whole company, and it's about time. Our time is limited. Well, these would be the main objections. I have no doubts that these objections could be more. And if you have any objections, please call us and let's get an appointment, and we may agree to some consensus. As I'm wrapping up, I would like to share a little bit about advantages of our company and our products. Our team, Info Security Awareness. All the team members have a lot of experience in working with and in companies who are specialized in distance learning. We know a lot about different formats. We know about how to embed these formats. We stay abreast of the current trends in the online education. We get all the best what the market can offer today, and we offer it to you. Also, the price-quality ratio in our case would be optimal. We have studied the market of our competition, and if you'll find this interesting bottle card, we can also provide it on request. And And you can build this kind of training materials without any outsourcing. You do not have to worry that we have outsourced this work to somebody else. There'll be no third party involved. It's only us. We do it only ourselves, and we'll think about everyone else. And let's join our hands and let's look forward and to train your employees on the topic of information security, and our lives will become cleaner, better, and safer. Also, on this slide, you can see my contacts, and this is my phone number, and this is my email address. And once again, I'm Yulia Astrakhan, and I'm the head of the Info Security Awareness in the Info Security Company, which is part of the Softline group of companies. And with this, I think I'm done with my presentation today. And we're just about to end this session, and I'll be happy to meet you again, to stay in touch with you. And please remember that the information security training, raising awareness in this topic, in this field, is as important as installing technical defense means and mechanisms. All the best and have a great day.